Another thing that I think is really important is data separation. Is your data separated from other users in the cloud? So you have this notion of multi-tenant. Now that's not a bad thing, but understanding that yes, your data may be housed multi-tenant on one system, but is it separate and segregated so no one else can get into it? And the last thing is encryption. Do they have some sort of encryption for your data? And I think that's really important as well. So when you start looking at the different types of encryption technologies out there, PGP for an example, I think these things are very important, again, for making sure that your data stays secure up in the cloud. The fact that cybercrime has surpassed the drug trafficking trade, over $1 trillion a year is made in cybercrime. So it's a very serious, very tangible business. So it's very important to understand, are you being protected in the cloud?
All right, thanks a lot. So if the commercial cloud truly is going to be the cheapest provider of computer cycles, well then how are you going to maintain, plan, and build your future IT infrastructure? You know, Stanford University is dealing with that challenge right now, and we're going to go down to visit them and find out how they're dealing with their current capacity problems and what they're doing to plan for the future. So we met up with Stanford's Phil Reese in front of one of their containerized data centers. So where are we?
Well, we're actually at SLAC National Accelerator Laboratory, which is a stepdaughter of Stanford. Their data center behind us is nearly full. These have been a good way to bridge into the future for them. We're in the cold aisle, and the racks are actually this way. There's a radiator here, another rack, another radiator, all the way through. My opinion is that containers are great if you have very homogeneous computing. They essentially become the next size. So there's the server, there's the rack, and now the concept of a container. From now till 15 years, I think container is going to play a big role.
So we're inside now the existing data center, and there's some interesting stuff to look at here. We've got some water-cooled cabinets. So how are they working for you?
Well, I'd say they're working out really well for us. The demand is always for growing in terms of density of servers, and these provide a great solution for that.
We just looked at the containers outside, but it almost seems like these are kind of temporary solutions. What's the strategy for the university? What do you see in the future?
I happen to have a drawing here.
Okay.
So here's an outside picture of the artist's conception of the facility. All along, this has been a modular data center in intent and purpose. In order to hedge our bets to see if the cloud takes over, if it doesn't, or if it takes longer, we can continue to invest here as appropriate. And how we'll be able to do it with ambient air. So here, the whole front of the building is louvers, and so is the back of the building. The air will come in, go through a filter wall, then through a fan wall, and into the first floor plenum. It'll then go up through an isolated cold aisle, into the servers, into the hot aisle behind the servers, and then up and out, and that's the whole entire airflow path. That hot aisle is going to be hot. You're not going to want to work in the hot aisle, that's for sure.
Why did you not decide to go with a traditional data center?
One of the things that we found is by looking at an ambient air only design, we were able to save a significant amount of money. The savings on a year-by-year basis over a 20-year period pays for the capital cost for the building.
Well, I love that. Congratulations on all this. I really appreciate you having us out here today.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So what have we learned? Well, the cloud is coming, and it's going to affect your IT and data center strategy moving forward. 2. Virtualization changes the whole Tier 3 and Tier 4 construction strategy, and it raises the issue of resiliency versus redundancy. 3. There are ways to reduce your PUE with and without large capital costs. 4. With deep packet inspection, it is possible to be secure in the cloud. So the future of data centers is assured. And how do we know that? Well, you know, combined, 3 of the top social networking sites have 260 million registered users, and they're all under the age of 13. That means there's a massive tidal wave of information coming our way, and it's our job to keep it flowing and to do it with the least amount of resources possible. Until next time, I'm Bob Brown.